Welcome back to the channel, everyone. If you're new here, my name is Mike. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today we're going to do another food video. The response from the last food video that I did was tremendous. And so I have a ton of different recipes that I want to share with you. A lot of those I like to call quote-unquote super top secret. Today's recipe, we're actually going to talk about pad thai. It's one of my favorite Thai dishes, and ever since I was shown how to do this recipe by someone in an Asian market many years ago, I don't bother ordering it whenever I go out. I actually just make it at home because it is that good. So what I'll show you in today's video is how you make that. I'll show you the 4 ingredients that you use in order to make this outstanding pad thai sauce, and then I'll show you how I do it on the walk, and then you can do it again at home. All right, let's get started. Okay, welcome back. So we're inside. Let's talk about what the ingredients are that go into the pad thai. The recipe I'm going to show you today actually is going to be enough for 4 people. And so take the proportions that I tell you and divide it in half if you only want to do 2. This is just the easiest way that I find to do it. It actually keeps for a while in the refrigerator, probably a week or so. But honestly, we don't ever have any left, and it's just that good. So the items that you need to pick up in order to make the pad thai are as follows. This is concentrated cooking tamarind. Okay, it's kind of liquefied, and we'll use a little bit of that. The key ingredient is called chili paste with soya bean. Chili paste with soya bean. If you look closely, it's actually got a lot of oil in it, but it's made with shrimp and a bunch of other spices. This is very critical in the taste that you're going to get whenever you make the pad thai. And then you need fish sauce. And so I use Squid brand. There's a whole plethora of different brands that you can use. This is the one that I've used for quite a while. It's actually pretty inexpensive. And then the final ingredient that you're going to need is brown sugar. And for Thai food, one thing that you'll notice if you eat different Thai dishes is there's always a mix of sweet and savory and salty. And that's kind of what you get when you put all these together. So here's how you make it. And whenever you are making it, you definitely want to try and taste it every so often. You're going to want to adjust the saltiness as well as the sweetness to your liking. Here's how I do it. So first you start with the tamarind. And I'm going to put 2 tablespoons into the bowl. My next ingredient is the chili paste with soya bean oil. I'm going to put 3 heaping tablespoons of this. You can see it's quite oily, but it has all of that shrimp flavor, and that's exactly what you're looking for. It's pretty sticky, as you can see, but that's okay. When we mix it together, it's going to be just fine. Now we're going to put about 2.5 tablespoons of brown sugar, and they're going to be heaping tablespoons. And then finally, for the salty portion of it, we're going to use our fish sauce. I would imagine it's probably going to be about 2 tablespoons worth of fish sauce. But what I'll do is I'll put in about 2 tablespoons, and then I'll start to mix it up, and then I'll sample it. And I'll make sure that it is just slightly saltier than what I would typically eat, because the noodles that you put it on are bland. And so the saltiness in the sauce is actually going to flavor the noodles. So we just mix it up really well. In some cases, if it's a little thick, you can always add water, of course. So remember that chili paste was pretty thick, and so what I'm doing is I'm using the back of my spoon to smash it down and incorporate it with all of those other flavors that I had. And then when I get it all kind of mashed down, I'll just start to stir it together to where it gets completely incorporated into a sauce. And it's just about there. Now again, what I said earlier, this will do about 4 servings. If you like to have more sauce on your pad thai, make more. If you're doing a smaller batch, you can make less. But I always tend to err on the side of caution and make a little bit more sauce, because the one thing that I don't like to have is noodles that are dry. Okay, that looks pretty good. And so if you see the sauce, it's now kind of all incorporated. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and use one of the spoons that I had before, and I'm going to taste it to check for saltiness and sweet and make sure I've got the balance that I'm looking for. I think it needs just slightly more fish sauce. So I'll put about, another tablespoon in there. Mix that together. And the sauce is complete. So as you saw, it just took 4 ingredients, and this is one of the ones that I say is one of the super top secret recipes that I have. And again, I got this whenever I was in an Asian market. I was actually buying some of the pre-made sauce, and one of the restaurant owners that happened to be shopping there pulled me aside and said, "Hey, put that back. Let me show you how to make that. These are the items that they had me get. They told me the proportions, and I've been making it this way ever since." Once you try this, you're not going to order it out anymore. You're actually going to try it at home and probably never order it again out because it's that good. So we've got our sauce made. Now what we need to do is talk about how do we assemble the pad thai. And then what I'll do is I'll take you out and show you my setup that I put together for the wok. And then we'll do a quick wok session, and you'll see exactly how I put all of this together, and then it'll be done. Okay, we've cleaned up our work area just a little bit. This is the sauce that we just made. We're going to set that aside. So the first thing you need to do is you need to prepare your rice sticks. This is a medium width rice stick, and these, a lot of folks have a lot of problems getting these to come out right because they're too mushy. What you need to do is just be very careful on how long you leave them in the water. So with this specific size of rice stick, I put boiling water over the top of them in this pan for 4 minutes, and that's it. I immediately took them over to the sink, rinsed them out, and then made sure that as I was tossing them with my hand that the cold water was going in there to stop the cooking process. What you're looking for is a rice stick that is a little bit less done than al dente pasta would be. And what happens is when you cook it in the wok, the heat from the wok is going to cook it the rest of the way, and it's going to be perfect. Here's what else we have. I've got 2 chicken breasts that I've cubed up, and in a future video I'm going to tell you how I have treated this chicken. And when I say treat the chicken, if you go to a Chinese restaurant, for example, you know that the chicken that they have, it is super tender, and I can never figure out how in the world did they get it that tender. Well, you know what? I figured out the secret. I had someone share with me that happened to own a restaurant how they do that, and in an upcoming video I'll show you exactly how to do it. You won't believe the results, and it is super easy. So again, that's 2 chicken breasts there. I've got 4 eggs that I have beaten. I have 1 whole onion, and I have 3 cloves of garlic. So here's how this is going to go. When we go outside to the wok, we're going to heat the wok up. We're going to pour some cooking oil in there, and it's going to be a high temperature, either peanut oil or canola oil. We're going to let it come up to temperature. Once it comes up to temperature, I'm going to cook the chicken. I'm going to take the chicken out, and then I'm going to cook the egg, and then I'm going to take the egg out, And then I'm gonna wash my wok out, put a little bit more oil in there, and then I'm gonna start cooking the onion. And when the onion starts to brown and get a little bit softened, I'll put the garlic in there for a minute or so. We'll toss that around. And then once it looks like everything is about to be done, we're gonna put the noodles in. And then all of the other items that we had just cooked, we'll put back in there. We'll toss it together, we'll kick off the heat, and then we'll put our sauce on. And that residual heat that's in the wok is actually going to heat up the sauce just enough that it heats the entire dish and we're done. So it actually goes really fast, and I'll show you every single one of the steps. Let's go outside. Okay, so we've arrived outside, and let me explain to you the setup. What we have here is a base for a turkey fryer, and I've adapted it with a ring that I got from the Asian market for a wok. I've got a flat or a round bottom wok, and of course it's been seasoned because I've used it quite a number of times. It's hooked up to a tank of propane, so of course it's going to get extremely hot compared to what a normal gas stove in your house would get. So let's put all of this together, and I'll show you exactly how I fry up the pad thai. Okay, just like that, we're done. So I added some green onions for color. I've got everything all mixed together. We are done. You can actually do this on your stove. It just may take a little bit longer. I would highly advise, if you have a round bottom wok, to get one of the wok rings from your local Asian market. And I'll tell you, I hope you enjoy this pad thai. For me, it's the best that I've had. We'll see you again next time.